HG Hernandez Govan says he witnessed the crime. Right? He said that he saw the video recording of Gucci Man being robbed by Pooh Shiesty. Think it's real? You think he's just putting on? Gonna hop into it, but before we do, hit the like button, hit the hype button, and don't forget to subscribe.
I do know it was recorded. I seen the video.
I was gonna ask you that. Did you get a chance to see the video?
Yeah, I seen the video, and I think this is my first time kind of like breaking this year, but yeah, I actually seen it. It was a move, for all the shit that that Gucci had been doing, and I'm finna give you something that I ain't told nobody yet, and it's because you my guy, a lot of part of the reason that Shiesty, that happened was Big Scar, his cousin, that mistakenly OD'd while he was in prison. Fast forward to now, Atlantic had just gave Shiesty $5 million for a publishing deal. And they were about to give him another bag for some type of branding deal or whatever, in which Gucci was still tied in the mix of it. And Shiesty didn't want that to happen. And so Atlantic was trying to work out some things with both parties. Gucci wasn't cooperating, and they just added fuel to the fire or whatever. And so, fast forward to them having a meeting in Dallas at the studio. Gucci came in the studio, and when he came in, he wasn't allowed to leave. And so, there's a lot of things that happened. A lot of jury was taken. The cameraman, he got assaulted, and Gucci was forced to sign a release form to release Shiesty out of the record deal, and it was recorded as well.
They said Big 30 recorded, right, or somebody from the crew?
Yeah, allegedly. Yeah, allegedly. I do know it was recorded. I seen the video.
I was gonna ask you that. Did you get a chance to see the video?
Yeah, I seen the video. And I think this is my first time kind of like breaking this year, but yeah, I actually seen it. And
what can you describe a little bit of the details in that video?
Gucci was in there shaking like a stripper on Judgment Day.
No, man.
Yeah, Gucci, it wasn't.
WAP.
Yeah, WAP. Gucci followed instructions well up under pressure. Yeah, he was just sir, no sir to some kids. So yeah, a lot of them, a few of them Atlanta niggas, they get real nice when they're pressured, when they get hot.
Can Hernandez Govan be subpoenaed to court for saying he witnessed the crime? I don't know. I just think that's crazy. I don't know. Maybe he just lied, but I just think that's crazy that he's saying he witnessed the crime. He saw the video, and these guys are on trial. These guys will be on trial if they don't plea out. Y'all let me know what y'all think.
He was surprised. He was shocked. He wasn't prepared. He wasn't ready for that. And that all leads back to me saying that he couldn't been the street nigga or the rapper that that's on the rap songs, because ain't no way that me knowing what I've done, the bullshit that I did to Shiesty while he was locked up, ain't no way I'm gonna pull up unprepared, and I'm from that environment. Gucci really a goofy to me in my book.
So you feel like he could have been way more prepared to come to that meeting instead of just coming?
Yeah. If he would have pulled up right, it wouldn't even went down. Because if he would have pulled up right, then they would have had to assess the situation.
Yeah. So it was,
what I'm saying,
him, the cameraman, and
and his homeboy, and then he had the off-duty officer there.
So Gucci must have thought everything was real sweet for him to just pull up and just feel like it was all good.
I mean, I'm sure, he had to, for him to pull up how he pulled up. He may have had some type of, I don't know, he may have felt something because, Shiesty hadn't been communicating with him properly since his release. you know, they talked a couple times or whatever, but it wasn't like, you know, how your main artist and how the CEO should be communicating when you first get released from doing a 3 to 4 year prison bid. You know, so with that being said, those signs right there, along with me knowing that the family has been upset with me for quite some time, then I would have pulled up how I supposed to pull it up.
And there was an issue involving a chain. I think when Scar passed away, Gucci was trying to collect some chains back, some 1017.
Yeah, the 1017 chains that Scar had. You know, that rubbed the family the wrong way. Instead of you being concerned about, you know, giving Scar a nice, decent burial, you was worried about the chains, getting the chains back. And then when the family reached out again and asked about the funeral, he said that his wife's birthday was coming up and that, you know, I guess he was strapped for cash. And he made that statement. And when he did, you know, it kind of led me to believe, I'm like, man, this a real sucker, because ain't no way you around here hurting and say you work for 100, 200 M's and you tell the family that my wife's birthday coming up and that's the reason why you can't put one of your top artists away decent.
Right.
You know, it's just, he do a lot of weird shit. I don't know if it's the medicine, you know, he on meds, he take, you know what I'm saying, psych meds. You know, when you having episodes to that magnitude, man, you know, he really supposed to get a pass right now, to be honest, you know, because I think they're legally crazy. Just think about it. When the last time you ever heard you heard Gucci talk, like have a, you know, a full conversation, you know, a long drawn out conversation, you know. Only thing he do is nod his head for the most part. And you know, and that's what those psych meds do to you. You know, just have you like a bobblehead.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And all that,
and that's Gucci, you know, and she said she answered the phone for him. You know, she pay all his bills for him, you know, and so.
You mentioned before, man, that you knew the security guard or you knew of the security guard?
To my dad was with Gucci?
Yeah.
No, I knew a couple people that was actually in the room. I don't know the security guard. I know a couple people, you know, all those cats that got arrested from Memphis. So
that's how you got that news real quick, man, because the word.
Yeah, that's how I got the information.
Do you feel like he was the main one to snitch, or you feel like Gucci snitched as well? Like, what's your take on that? Because people are arguing.
So my take on that is, for Gucci to say it's in black and white that Gucci sat down with the authorities and identified.
But I still don't understand, because if there was a guy, the cameraman who was assaulted, and not only that, a retired or off-duty policeman there as well. I mean, bro, you ain't got much to work with. You ain't got much to work with if that off-duty officer testifies and another guy corroborates that story. But it ain't much to. Not only that, Pooh Shiesty is in the area. He's on house arrest. And not only that, he's where he's not supposed to be. He was on the phone talking to the PO saying, hey, look, you need to get home. You know what's going on? Hey, look, you need to get out of there. Gucci Man tried to reschedule. Pooh didn't want to do that. And it just escalated from there. So I don't understand, man. Like, bro, this whole snitching stuff, man, is out of hand, man. It's really out of hand.
30 and Pooh Shiesty. Whether Keisha gave him his meds or not at that time, I don't know. I would hope not. I would hope he, you know, can blame it on him not having, you know, or him having his meds, because her giving him the meds might have made him do the unthinkable. And so, with that being said, I think the police officer had to initiate it and cover his own ass, because, you know, by law, you know, he have to report the crime, you know, or he could be charged. And so when the police officer, after he reported it, and then the feds got involved and got to doing their due diligence, you know, and pulling up on people and interviewing people, you know, when they pull up, for the most part, they catch you off guard. So, you know, and it'd be a big surprise. So I think, you know, I'm sure Gucci, you know, that's his long time security. You know, Finesse 2 Times spoke on it the other day. when he did a song with Gucci. There's some type of bond there. They've been together for a long time. So I just can't see that police officer making their move as it relates to alerting the government about what happened without Gucci Mane knowing.
Now I got a question too, man, as far as Gucci Mane, because a lot of people are saying, you know, Deuce in his 40s, you know what I'm saying, he got money or whatever, he got status. He shouldn't have become a crash out. How do you feel? Do you feel like he's considered just a rapper or a civilian or a gangster? Like, where would we place Gucci Mane?
Once you listen, I just seen a video this morning. Gucci said he ain't never told on nigga and he never will snitch on nobody, you know. And he stood on that, you know. I'm like, he said it with his chest out. So with that being said, you know, you can't make videos and clips like that and then turn around 10 years later and, you know, and get on some civilian type time. You know, once you when you come from that environment, even if you make it out, you know, if it's in you, it's still in you. You know, I got high hopes of making it out, you know, all the way out. And if I was ever, God forbid, in a similar situation, I wouldn't be calling no authorities. You know, I'll be doing what I do. And if I was a rapper, I'll be doing what I've been saying on the rap songs for the last 25 years. I ain't gonna use the civilian card and try to play on it. You know, it's time to go take your head down, you know what I'm saying, to get back in the field, you know, when you get disrespected like that. You know, where I come from, that type of shit ain't tolerated. You know, I don't give a fuck if you could be 8 to 80, blind, crippled, or crazy. You know, so that shit ain't going on, you know, addressing it. You know, I don't care how long a nigga been out the streets or whatever. When you go in my ear and unscrew my earrings and make me take off my wedding ring that my wife purchased for me, then somebody got to go. Think about the humiliation going through your body when you're doing it. You know, when Shiesty said, man, you know, don't let that dirt verse go to your head. Ain't nobody slime as me. You know, he meant that shit in blood, you know, and you know, I guess he wanted to prove that point, you know. But that was some of the crazy shit I ever seen, you know, and I kind of blame his father, Lantrell, for that. You know, ain't no way that my son gonna take me on no mission and I don't pull his coattail and be like, hey, look, son, man, we can do this a better way, bro. Ain't no way we finna this generational wealth off, you know, over some emotion.
I agree with that 100%. Emotional people always make permanent decisions based on temporary emotion, man. That's the last thing you ever want to be. You need to get some people around you that's going to help you think clearly, and help you see things from a different perspective. Ain't nothing worse than you doing a dime. You doing 15 years flat, and Sancho at the house with your woman. Ain't nothing worse than your 4-year-old getting woke up in the middle of the night with her living boyfriend over there at nighttime. I'm worse than that, or worse. Your 3-year-old calling another man daddy, or just the only man she done known, while you doing 15 years in prison. Man, y'all better stop that stuff, man. You better stop that, man.
You know, over somebody doing what we call sucker shit.
And they could have, with the amount of money they got, man, they could have really kept their hands clean on that too.
But you know, they come from, you know, 30 and Shiesty them, you know, they come from that environment, you know, where they hands on, you know, and I guess they feel like they put the trust in themselves versus, you know, somebody else. But I do get what you're saying. I think, in my opinion, if I was in those shoes, I would have just negotiated. You know, you know, you can't handle business in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know, when you try to handle business that way, shit always go bad. You know, you could have got and if you look at Gucci track record, just think about it. He had Nicki Minaj, Young Thug, and whoever else he had. He let everybody out the deal.
Yeah.
You know, when people got disgruntled and shit like that and said they wanted out, he ain't hold nobody hostage. He let everybody go. So if Shiesty would have went to him the right way, I'm sure something could have been worked out. If he would have went to Gucci on that type of time, I don't think Gucci would have pulled up in Dallas that free-hearted, like that open. You know, he would have knew that it was some type of tension or some type of issue there if Pooh would have alerted him that he wanted off the label. Just think about it. When Gucci showed up, he brought his cameraman with him. He thought they was finna snap it up, take pictures, and celebrate Shiesty coming home, and it's back to the money. He ain't had no clue. You know, if he did, the cameraman wouldn't have been there. It would have been a gunman instead of the cameraman.
Rollo recently came out. I don't know if you saw him and Woody on a stream where Rollo was
Him and Woodrico.
Huh?
Him and Woodrico? Yeah, Woodrico.
Yeah, he was sitting with him, man. He was basically saying what he would have done if he was Gucci Man. He said he would have sent Pooh Shiesty straight to God. How you feel? How you feel about that?
I don't know Rollo personally, so I can't speak on, you know, if he really like that in the streets or not. I done heard some stories that, you know, that he ain't no hoe or whatever, you know. So and I can't say he capping, because if he would have did me like that, I would have did everything I could to send him to God. So
he said he would have waited and plotted and
that's how you do. That's how you do. You know what I'm saying? You know, ain't no time limit on the get back. You know, you know, you wait to the right move. You know, you don't rush it, and then you go with your move at the right time. And so, I mean, I can't knock him for saying it. You know, just because Shiesty them from Memphis and, you know, Rollo from, you know, Atlanta or whatever. You know, he spoke like a man. You know, he spoke like how any real one. You know, he said what any real one would say. You know, I'm sure if some niggas did you like that and you get the opportunity, you'll try to baptize their ass too. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I get it, but at the same time, man, some situation, man, you can't put yourself in, man. First of all, you got to know what your temperament is. Some people, you can't go around everybody, man. You cannot go around everybody, man. There's gonna be people out there that you know, especially if you're in the street, man. There's gonna be people out there that's gonna test you. Who're gonna press the right button just to see if you're gonna do what you said you're gonna do. You're gonna be what you said you're gonna be. And you gotta know your temperament, man, and you gotta know, hey, listen, look, I don't want to put myself in this position to even respond to you, though. I don't want to do it because I know if it go there, it's all the way there. Because there's some people, man, that I know for a fact, hey, look, I got kids. Ain't nothing or nobody gonna stop me from getting home, seeing my kid. I'm gonna do everything in my power to get home to see my kid. Whatever that means, I'm gonna do it. With that mindset, man, you gotta know, look, I don't need to put myself in this position because I know my temperament. You take me there, it's gonna be there. But because I know some tough guys out there that's gonna try it, let me get away from you, bro. I don't want no smoke. I don't want no problem with you. I don't want no problem. You got to be able to de-escalate and, man, walk away. That don't make you weak because you walk away. That make your head strong. That make you strong, man. Hey, look, people gonna talk and say what they want to say, bro. But at the same time, hey, man, it's being a man is here. At least it used to be here. Everything else, players, pimps, all this other stuff, drug dealers, all that stuff, nothing supersedes manhood. Nothing. Nothing supersedes manhood but the Lord, man. So like I said, all that other stuff, man, people gonna say what they want to say about you. It is what it is. Don't make no difference. At the beginning, at the end of the day, you need to be home, taking care of them kids, taking care of your wife, taking care of whatever responsibility. If you got a mother, got a father, whatever the situation is, you need to take care of your responsibility. Man, people gonna talk. They're gonna talk about you, whether you know it, whether you don't know it. Take care of your business. Get out of the way of these folks, man. Let these folks sucker you. And what's crazy about it, Pooh Shiesty crossed his own self out. Didn't nobody cross him out, man. Didn't nobody trick him off his spot. Pooh Shiesty played himself, man. That's what it come down to. What it is.
Yeah. You know, Rollo he ain't speak no wrong when he said that. You know, he said what I would have said. They should have been calling an attorney, bro. Like, that was the right move. That was the right play. You can't, like, bro, Shiesty got a sister. He got a mom. You know, he got a grandmama. I don't know how big his family is, but he got a lot. He got a few lot of motherfuckers that could have been straight for the rest of their life, and the key in the next generation just offer his talent. And so ain't no way in the hell nobody didn't get in his ear and tell him, look, bro, you tripping. And that just goes back to everybody being afraid of him, you know, in that, you know, in his little clique or whatever.
Man, look, let me give y'all some more free game, man. Whenever you're doing business with somebody or an entity, you should always be thinking, whenever you enter into business, you should always be thinking about the exit. In business, it's called an out clause or a mark out or a buyout. Think about it this way. Per OSHA standards, any commercial business that you enter in that has an entrance has to have an exit. Say that again. Any business that you go into, I don't care if it's Walmart, McDonald's, Ruth Chris, it doesn't matter what it is. Every place of business that has an entrance has an exit. Once you enter into business with a person or entity, you should be looking for the exit. Because generally speaking, people normally don't do business with people that they don't like. You normally do business with people on good terms while y'all are on good terms. You get married while you're on good terms. You get divorced when you disdain that person or that person's action. You do business with people that you like, that you're on common grounds with. In the meantime, once you enter into business, you should be looking, okay, should things go wrong, how are we going to proceed? Are we going to proceed amicably? Are we going to have a lawyer? Or are we going to just dissolve the funds? However we're going to do it. Am I going to buy myself out the contract? Anytime you go into a business, you should be looking for that exit in case stuff go bad. In business terms or in commercial business terms, it's called an evacuation. I may not be able to leave out this door. I have to go out another door. You have to know the ins and the outs of a contract, of an agreement, of a business. Because I'd rather know what the exit is and not need it than need the exit door, not know where it is. Come on, man.
Because if he was my friend, I would have been like Trey on Boys in the Hood, man, let me out.
Real though.
Man, for real.
You feel like Big 30 is a follower?
I ain't gonna say 30 a follower. He just loves Shiesty. You know, they've been together since they was kids. You know, I'm sure 30 his own man or whatever, but he just rolled with Shiesty, right or wrong.
So y'all get in the comments. Tell me what y'all think about this video, man. Do you think Govan could be subpoenaed to court for stating that he witnessed the video? Or is he just capping? Hit that like button. Hit that hype button. And don't forget to subscribe. In the meantime, put them guns down, stop the killing, respect the game. If you're good to the game will be good. Wow.